Okay, Snot Stew, chapter 11. This is the last chapter of the book. Before I even knew what was happening, I was on my feet. Every muscle in my body was tense. My ears were flat against my neck. I charged across the yard and leaped to the picnic table, then to the fence rail. Not once did I even think about falling off as I raced forward. I stopped above Toby. He was clawing the ground, screaming, crying. I climbed to the top of the fence and looked down. Butch was there, right behind Toby. He was snarling and growling and chomping. He was eating my brother's tail. Behind me, I heard the back door slam. I heard Mother's voice say, "What in the world? What's all this racket? Oh my gracious!" Poor Toby. Butch had chomped his way almost to Toby's rear end. I jumped. All four legs were out straight. Each claw and each paw stuck out as far, oops, the wind is getting me, as far as I could make it. Sorry, guys. My tail spun, helping me keep my balance. I hope I'm aiming right, I thought. Then I closed my eyes because I couldn't bear to watch. I felt my long, sharp claws dig into something. My eyes flashed open. My aim had been good. I landed right where I wanted to, right square on Butch's back. My front claws dug into his floppy black ears. My back claws hung tight to his back. Butch stopped chomping on Toby. I could feel his muscles tense beneath my claws. I dug them in deeper. Butch leaped up. I dug my claws in deeper. "Yipe!" Butch barked. Then we took off. Butch yiped and howled and squealed as we raced around the yard. He bounced up and down. I hung on tighter. He howled and shook himself all over. I hung on even tighter. He twisted and turned, but he couldn't reach me. I just hung on. Then I saw Toby's rear end disappear through the hole in the fence. Butch lay down and started to roll over me. I dug my claws in, hard as I could, and at the very last second, I let go. I raced as fast as I could for the hole under the fence. Butch didn't chase me, although I didn't know that until I was on the other side of the fence. Only then did I stop and turn around to look. Through the crack, I could see him. The big black monster was still rolling on the ground. He would flip from side to side in the dirt, still trying to rub off the places where my claws had dug in. Mother was carrying Toby through the back door. I raced after them, but I was too late. She disappeared inside the house yelling for Daddy. I was panting. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it was going to come out of my throat. "Let me in," I meowed. "I want to see Toby. Is he still alive? Let me in." Inside I could hear her yelling, "James, James, help me. No, I've got a towel. Go check on Tic Tac." Daddy came racing to the door. He flung the door open and I trotted in to see what had happened to Toby. "She's all right," James called from behind me. I guess James was Daddy's other name. I'm not sure because most of the time Mother called him Daddy. "What happened?" Daddy James wanted to know. Mother cupped a dish towel under Toby's hind end. "That dumb dog of yours caught Rambo. He would have killed him if Tic Tac hadn't jumped on his back and startled him." Mother looked down at me, then at Daddy James. "She's always been such a fraidy cat, so timid and shy and mild-mannered. I couldn't believe she attacked that dog of yours." "My dog," Daddy James yelped. "I'll have you know, Pat, that dog is as much yours as mine. You helped pick him out, remember? You—" "Oh, hush." Mother Pat told Daddy James, "Rainbow's bleeding all over my dish towel and my floor. We better get him to the vet's." I tried to follow them. I called to Toby, but he wouldn't answer me. He kept meowing, stuff about his tail and how he hurt. At the front door, when I tried to go with them, Daddy James shoved me back with his foot. "I want to go," I meowed. He shut the door. I was so worried about Toby. Would he be all right? Would I ever see him again? I kept pacing back and forth in front of the door. "Meow, meow." I called his name over and over. Oh, I lost my space. I heard the car start. Then the sound moved farther and farther away down the road. I was so scared, so worried, I couldn't even crawl under the couch and rest in my safe place. All I could do was pace back and forth across the living room. Finally, I crawled up to the window. I sat on the windowsill and watched the road. I prayed that they would bring Toby back. At long last, my prayers were answered. Mother and Daddy drove up in their car just before the yellow school bus brought Ben and Sarah home. They carried Toby inside and laid him down in his chair. Mother brought towels and put them under him. Ben and Sarah came in, but Mother and Daddy wouldn't let them mess with Toby. They made them go in the kitchen to do their homework. They said Toby needed his rest. Finally, after Ben and Sarah and Mother and Daddy went into the other room, I jumped down from the windowsill. I went to Toby's chair. Toby was almost asleep. He could barely hold his eyes open. "Are you okay?" I meowed. Toby tried to smile. "I think so." He propped himself up on one paw. "They gave me a shot to make me rest. I'm sure sleepy." "How bad is it?" I asked. Toby flopped his head toward his tail. "Not too bad. They sewed my tail up, wrapped it in white stuff called gauze, and put sticky stuff called tape on it. But, Toby stopped and sniffed back a tear. "But what?" I urged. "But my tail's gone. Butch ate my tail." I jumped up gently to sit in the chair beside him. "Here," I said, "lay your head on my paws." Toby lay down and closed his eyes. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "It's all my fault. It's all my fault." Toby sat up. His sleepy eyes didn't seem sleepy anymore. "Your fault?" he growled. "What makes you think that? If it hadn't been for you, Butch would have eaten me." I shook my head. "No, it's my fault. If I hadn't gotten in a big fight with you over the stew, if I hadn't said, 'I hope he gets you,' if—" Toby licked my ears. "Oh, hush that. It wasn't your fault. It's me. If I hadn't been so busy playing Snot Stew and eating all your food, then I wouldn't have gotten so fat that I couldn't squeeze through the hole in the fence. Butch would have never gotten me if I hadn't got stuck." "You saved me. I never knew you were so brave. If you hadn't jumped on his back, you risked your life to save me. You're the bravest sister in the whole wide world." He licked my ears a few more times. Then his sleepy head went kerplop on my paws. In the other room, I could hear Ben and Sarah. "That's my pencil," Ben snapped. "Is not," Sarah griped back. "Is two, is not, is two, is not, is stew, snot stew." Toby rolled over. He raised his wobbly head and licked my cheek. "I'll never play Snot Stew again," he told me. Toby was up and around in no time. He was a different cat after his experience with Butch. Toby was nice and easy to get along with. We shared our food. We shared our Ben and our Sarah. We shared everything. Toby didn't tease the big dog anymore. He hardly ever got smart aleck with me, and he never pranced around and flipped his tail. Of course, he didn't have a tail to flip. All he had was a stub, and we never, ever played Snot Stew again. Such a cute story. I love how we can definitely learn lots of lessons from here, such as it's important to get along with others, treat others the way that you want to be treated. Don't be selfish. Be kind. Don't tease others, because you never know what could happen to you. And it's also good, I think another good lesson is how Kiki stood up to Butch to help her brother out. It's good to stand up for people and help people out when they're in trouble. But this is a cute story, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.